What is at stake in this election cycle is a question on the minds of many minority groups in the United States. The Department of African American Studies hosted a forum last night to highlight the interests of the Black community, especially on campus and in Champaign-Urbana. The conversation centered around education and economic inequality, along with the comments of privatization of public spheres of life. The forum, held in the Craner Art Museum, featured panelists Dr. Sundiata Cha-Jua, County Board member Carol Ammons, Professor Ken Salo, and Dr. Safiya Noble.
The way to exercise power and to get more power is to be clear about where you already have power.
Dr. Erik McDuffie of African American Studies and local radio personality Imani Bazzell moderated the forum, focusing the conversation on what African Americans need from this election cycle.
What it is, you don't get anything done by releasing reports. We do get things done by taking those reports and say, let's turn them into public policy.
When the conversation veered to health and women's issues, Dr. Safiya Noble pointed to research about the unequal effects on the Black population.
We certainly know that with the millions of uninsured Americans that the crisis that would unfold were Obamacare to be repealed is certainly significant in the lives of Black people and notably Black women and girls.
That old-fashioned knocking on the door combined with using the social science to identify who you want to talk to, right, and talk about issues, that we can use that kind of humane, human way of connection to defeat these folks.
You have to have a kind of leadership that's not willing to compromise when they get into the position.
In the end, the conversation turned toward educational inequality. Dr. Sundiata Cha-Jua, an expert on South African policy, pointed out the similarities between Black education in the U.S. and the diaspora.
I mean, what's happening to the schools in Chicago? And I mean, you just pick up the daily Chicago Tribune and see what Rahm Emanuel was calling turnaround schools and so forth. And not coincidentally, the same thing is happening in the Western Cape, in South Africa. It's the closure of non-performing schools. Now, what do they mean by non-performing schools? They're not profitable. And where do they happen to be geographically? In Black neighborhoods. So if education is not coming under the command of the market, it doesn't count. It's got no value in this new society.
Election turns out to be one in which we've now enfranchised lies, dishonesty, indifference to information. I think you ought to pack up and go home, okay? Because you're wasting your money.
For iElect, I'm Hannah Meisel.